Hey y'all, welcome back to Blended Roots Homestead. I have made 2 or 3 videos trying to introduce my garden because it's what we're doing right now. It's what's important right now, especially with the way that the world is going at the moment. I think that it is more important than ever for everyone to start something, do something. And so at first I was all, it's too small, nobody's gonna take it seriously. And then we were going to do an expansion of the garden because I realized that with what I'm wanting to do, that I needed more space. So I talk about doing what you can with what you have, and that sometimes there's going to have to be purchases. That I went and I bought a truckload of dirt, and that now that I went and I bought a truckload of dirt, John and I had been talking back and forth about needing to buy a Premier One fence because I haven't had any problems with deer. I have a problem with feral cats. The cats love to use my garden as a litter box, and I don't want that, and I'm tired of digging out cat poops. And that I'm growing food, so obviously you don't want your food to be grown in a litter box. And so we've gone and we've purchased dirt. We've gone and we've purchased a Premier One fence with an Energizer. So without further ado, let's just introduce you to the garden and what we're doing right now. This was our original garden. It's probably, I believe, 9 feet by 4 feet. I planted all of my squash. I sincerely thought that this was going to be enough space at first. People talk about chicken math. Garden math can become a true issue. So that's where our squash is right now. What I was planning on doing was that there was going to be cucumbers right here. Then we were going to have probably beans or something along those lines right here, and then we were going to let the squash do their thing. So we've got, from what I know of right now, 4 different types of squash growing in this area right now. And that we've got just a regular zucchini squash, a yellow straight neck squash, a striped gray zucchini, and then there's our patty pan. And then this was our expansion. It's not done yet. It was supposed to go all the way to the fence, to that. But then I got this amazing Premier One fence, and I said, nope, we need to go bigger. Now, going bigger is absolutely amazing, but the issue that comes along with going bigger is that is a lot more work. Not saying that we have a problem at all with hard work, because we don't. I have me, John, who's very able, and 2 older kids. I have Emma, who's 17, and I've got Nick, who's 14. Both incredibly hard workers. Now, the problem that happens with buying dirt is that if you don't have a tractor, which we don't, we have a wheelbarrow, shovels, and manpower. That took us 2 weeks to spread, and we're not even done. So what I am going to try to do is that my in-laws live out in the country, and so there are 2 farmers that I know of. One lives over there and one lives over there. So what I'm going to try to do is get one of my farmer buddies and have them spread the rest of the dirt. The dirt that won't fill in, I do believe that we're going to buy a rototiller and we're going to till. Now I know that there's arguments about whether tilling is a good idea or not. That this year, I think that, like I said, it is more important than ever to have a garden set in place, and that we've got to get food in the ground. So if I just sit on this because it's not perfect in the way that I want it, I'm not going to have any food. You're just debilitated by it not being perfect. And so I believe that we're going to go forth with that idea, that we're going to go get a friend with a tractor and see what we can do. And side note, just so that other people are aware, Premier One fencing, absolutely amazing. Not nearly as easy as Justin Rhodes makes it out to be, though. Just saying. Sorry about the absolutely horrible lighting, but it is hot out there. So, then the next question is, what are you growing? What in the world are you going to put in all that space? Because that was just grass before my in-laws and myself did not have a garden. I tried to do the whole thing on my back patio. Again, no sun. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through my seed collection and I'll tell you everything that we are growing in this season. And I've already got all of my seeds started. They're what were in the little cups whenever we were going through the Gonna Be Garden area. So I noticed one of the things that I thought was funny whenever I was trying to buy seeds for this year. You cannot find a tomatillo to save your life. So the reason why I wanted to do tomatillos is because I want to make green salsa. We absolutely love green salsa. You put it over a pork loin in the crock pot for 4 hours. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. But so I'm growing 2 different types of green tomatoes. That I've got Aunt Ruby's German green tomato coming up. And I've also got the evergreen tomato. So I have a recipe in a canning book at home that you replace the tomatillos with green tomatoes. So why not try it? Then we've got our yellow straight neck squash, which I showed you before. We've already got those coming up. We've already harvested some. I and John absolutely love banana peppers on sandwiches. My kids aren't so big on them, but oh my goodness, they are so good. So we're growing our banana peppers. I won't make you look at all the melons. We're growing a bunch of different melons. I believe that I actually already have this coming up. The Castelluto Genovese tomato, that I believe that this I actually just stuck in the ground. That's one of the reasons, well no, that's the only reason why there's 2 tomato plants just hanging out next to the squash. That I didn't care where it went as long as I just got things in the ground, but that was very hasty and unnecessary. So now we're going to see if tomato plants can transfer. So I don't know, we shall see. Lots of bell peppers. So I am a firm believer in the trinity of cooking is garlic, onions, and bell peppers, or some type of pepper. That my family, I love spicy stuff, my family does not. So if you are going to put a pepper in, it better be a bell pepper. So we've got lots of bell peppers coming up. We've got California Wonder Bell and the YOLO Wonder Bell, which honestly I just bought the second one for the name. That's what that was. Okay, so the squash that I said was a gray striped zucchini. It's actually an Italian striped summer zucchini squash. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've I have said that I'm absolutely horrible about labeling things. I go by what they look like, what the fruit looks like whenever they come in. I believe that the zucchini squash that I introduced first was the Black Beauty zucchini squash. Super duper yummy. Another bell pepper, just a coral bell, orange bell pepper. So this was something that I never really put much thought into before I started gardening this year. I've started plants before. I've never gotten anything from them though. So something that I learned is that not all tomatoes are created equally. So my main purpose this year for being able to do for this garden is to be able to preserve. I want to can a lot of what I'm growing. I didn't know that, like, okay, so this is Kellogg's Breakfast slicer tomato. Those really big, very low acid fruits. So I didn't know that this doesn't equal this whenever it comes to canning. Whenever you want to like can tomato sauces and you're just a base for anything tomatoey, that this has got way more water in it than this does, that you've got more flesh on this one than seeds. Seeds will make your tomato based product, whatever it is, bitter. I didn't know that. So I went and bought all these awesome tomatoes that I thought were, and I mean, I absolutely love tomatoes, tomato sandwiches, I love them. But that if I'm going to be preserving, this isn't what I want to be growing a majority of. So, from what I have gathered from all of my vast YouTubing and reading cookbooks and those types of things, these are the two that I planted darn near the whole packet. That I think there's approximately 25 seeds in here, and there's 25 seeds in here, so we'll see how it turns out. I don't know. That's another thing of what this whole YouTube journey is about, is that you guys, I hope, are going to learn from my failures and my wins, and also what works best for you may not work best for me, that we may live in completely different areas. So learning experience. So those are the main tomatoes that we're growing. Those are what are started in the cups right now. That we've also got our Tabasco peppers, because my son and I, Nick, we absolutely love Tabasco sauce. So I found out you can make your own Tabasco pepper, or make your own Tabasco sauce from your Tabasco peppers. So we're going to be doing that. I'm also growing jalapenos for salsas. I think my family will be okay. If not, we'll go with bell peppers next year, I guess. I've never made successful salsa. All of my salsa has always been absolutely disgusting, so we'll try. And then we've also got Anaheim chilies, because my grandma used to make something called a chili brick, and if you put it in any type of Mexican food, my mom made something called green chili, which was not green, it's more like chili Colorado, that she would put a chili brick in it. When she was making actual chili, she would put a chili brick in it. And it's just these peppers roasted on a grill, or however you do it. You scrape off the skin, scrape off the seeds, scrape out the seeds, and then you just freeze them in aluminum foil, and they make everything so much better. More bell peppers. So I've heard a lot of good things about the Paul Robeson tomato, and so we're also growing that. I want to try that. It's got a lot of anthocyanins in it. That's what makes it that darker color, a higher acid tomato. So I think that these would be really good on salads, or I eat tomatoes like apples, like, if we're being completely honest. So a lot of those probably aren't going to make it in the house. Mr. Stripey's tomato, I know that we've got a couple of plants of these, just because I also want to grow things not just for functional, but to actually enjoy them. And I've heard a lot of really good things about this being a sweeter tomato that is also low acid. Okay. and the amount of cucumbers that I am growing. So I don't know if I've actually started any of these this year. I know that if I didn't, I'm absolutely going to regret it because I really wanted to try these ones. The Tigerella, and then Mortgage Lifter tomato, just really good, tried and true. And a Black Seaman tomato. I know that I started these. But I don't see how these are going to be much different from the Paul Robesons. I'm curious to try them. Now into the more interesting stuff that isn't just tomatoes. So, whenever you are starting a garden, I believe that you need to start thinking about your diet first. What do you eat a lot of? What can you see your family eating a lot of? Because if you're growing things and they're extremely prolific, they do absolutely amazing, but nobody's going to eat them, then you just wasted your time and a lot of effort. So one of the things that I absolutely love that I can get almost all of my kids to eat quite a bit of is stir fry. And that I have heard that the Chinese noodle bean is absolutely amazing in stir fries. So whenever all of this actually starts coming up, that we really have to start thinking about how are we going to end up using these, because you're not just going to live off of tomato sauce and zucchini bread for the rest of your life. So if I can figure out if my kids like these, this is also a learning year, that there are going to be things that I'm growing that everybody does not like, and that's okay. So one of the ones that I skipped past that everybody thinks that I've gone kind of overboard with, now I can't find them. Everybody thinks that I've gone kind of overboard with is cucumbers, because you know how your taste buds change, and that there'll be things that you used to absolutely love that you don't really care for anymore. You're like, how did I eat so much of that? Since I was little, the first time I remember somebody bringing me a pickle jar as a gift, I was 2. And that I am still absolutely obsessed with pickles. And that, I don't know if you've ever had a homemade pickle, it doesn't compare. That homemade pickles are where it is at. It is absolutely amazing. And so I want to can a lot of pickles. So we have a lot of cucumbers started as well. We've got the National Pickling Cucumber. I remember that one. And the Boston Pickling Cucumber as well. So those are over there in those red cups as well. Okay, so I said that I wasn't going to make you sit through all of the melons, but the melons that I am most excited for are the Honey Rock melon, which I assume is exactly like a cantaloupe. And bear with me. Madhu Haas. Doesn't that look so good? From what I read, it's like honey with Greek yogurt. It has the sweetness of honey, but like the feeling in your mouth, not the texture, but like the feeling that it makes your taste buds have of Greek yogurt. I absolutely love Greek yogurt, and I love honey, and I love melons, so. Mexican sour gherkins, because I thought it would be cute to make quick pickles out of them, and they look like little watermelons. That's so cute. Like I said, my family does not like heat, so a habanada pepper has the flavor of a habanero without the heat. So I thought that would be a great idea as well, to either go into salsas or just for regular cooking. Poblano peppers. Enough said. So I'm terrified of having a bad pepper year, and so I pretty much found every not hot pepper and just put it in a cup. So these are Corbaci sweets that I know that there have been people in previous years that have had horrible pepper years, but their Corbaci sweets came up so with using as many peppers as I do, that I would much rather be completely covered up with them and have to freeze a lot than not have any, or having to go to the grocery store to buy them. We're growing the dill for our pickles. Okay. I did this on accident. So I did want to grow a ton of beans. I wanted to can all of our green beans for a year. But I bought 3 of them. So I went and I looked up what are the best bush beans to can for just a regular green bean like what you would eat with supper. And everybody across the board said Blue Lake Bush 274. And I placed 2 orders, and yeah, there's 40. It's 120 bean plants, y'all. That's a lot. But they save until next year as well. This I did do on purpose. That I bought a lot of these because I absolutely love corn, and I know that you get, like, on a good year, 2 to 3 ears on a stalk of corn. So bought the Country Gentleman corn, and I also bought the Fisher's earliest corn. That's going in there. I'm putting in 1 plant of these because I grew these last year and I did not like them at all, but I hear people sing their praises all the time. But it's also kind of like Swiss chard. Everybody that has a garden grows Swiss chard. I grew Swiss chard, and I personally think, and everybody in my house thinks, that it's gross. I tried it cooked, I tried it raw, I tried with Swiss chard, and we just don't like it. So I've got 1 plant of this growing again. So I'm going to try these dragon tongue beans. But there are some times that I just don't get what people do. Ugh, they were gross. Okra, because Emma and I absolutely love okra. And then all of the flowers. Aren't they pretty? So we're growing zinnias. The amazing gray poppy. I absolutely love poppies. My mom used to grow poppies every single year, and it was like my favorite part of our yard. And then just some more zinnias, and look at those. Laura's pepper box poppy. And just another zinnia. Everybody swears by zinnias. Bring on the zinnias. Well, guys, I really appreciate you hanging out with me today. So this space is going to start changing a lot, and I've got a farmer to go talk to. So I hope that you have an absolutely phenomenal day, and I'll see you guys next time.